the first video in the world. This will be our biggest challenge and biggest risk. If I damage the engine, the car will be scrapped. This is an oil leak, and this is a Range Rover 3.6 TDV8. I'll tell you a story. It all started with an oil leak on the Range Rover that I've noticed. At the beginning, I thought it was coming from the front differential. So I called the recovery company. They came out and they've told me something is to do with the engine, and there is apparently a rocker cover that is leaking from. The situation is, everyone I spoke to, even the recovery company, they said it's best to take it to a professional, to a Land Rover specialist apparently. I called a few people around. Some mechanics refused to touch the car. Some garages known in the UK refused to touch the car because they need a professional. It's a big job and it's going to cost a lot of money. I called Land Rover to diagnose this car at Land Rover. It's going to cost over £200 just to tell me what the problem is. They said they need to go down to the rocker cover apparently, and something like that. And I'll tell you why it's going to cost a lot of money. The parts are not that actually that expensive, it's the labor. And this is the reason. Let me show you the difference between the engines of a Nissan, a VW and a Range Rover. Let's start with the Nissan. Let's go. This is a Nissan 1.2 engine, petrol. You see, this is part of the engine. This is not a plastic cover that you just remove, okay? This is part of the manifold. This here is the manifold intake, okay? You see how the engine is easy to access? You see how much space I have here? Yeah? Now that is easy. It's easy. People can work on it, okay? Let me show you the VW engine. And just like the Nissan 4-cylinder, this is also a 4-cylinder. A TDI 1.6. However, this is diesel. Now the situation is here, they're trying to mask the engine with plastic. If I remove this, that's what it looks like inside. This is not a beautiful looking engine, but you can still access some of the parts, and you can see stuff here like timing belt. I can see the injectors here, the fuel injector. I can see everything, okay? And I can access stuff. To work on this engine, it'll take longer than the Nissan. And now let me show you what the problem is in the Range Rover. This is the Land Rover Range Rover 3.6 TDV8.
Yes.
And this is the engine cover, okay? You can see there's not much space going around, and the engine actually is all the way till the end. And if I remove the cover and I flash the light here for you, you can see how far it goes. And that's the problem. And you see how messy it is? They had to mask it with a piece of plastic. So all of this needs removing. All the way down needs removing. So it requires a lot of manual labor. And that's the problem. I assume manual labor will cost over £1,000. Maybe £1.50 to fix it. And that's the story. Now everyone told me not to work on the engine because this is a high risk. If I mess anything up here, it's a big problem. I've looked online, I've googled, I've searched, I've went on YouTube. I tried to see people doing this job. I could not find a single video for this specific model, for this specific engine, doing exactly this job. So you may be seeing right now the first video in the world attempting to do this. And the only reason why I'm doing this, because everyone said I cannot do it. And I have to send it to a professional, to someone who knows what he's doing. Only to Land Rover. And if they can do it, then I can do it. You know why? I have two hands, I have a brain, and I have some tools. And I have some time to play. But this will be our biggest challenge and biggest risk. This is a big risk. If I damage the engine, the car will be scrapped. It's as simple as that. This engine is the most expensive thing in this car. If I damage the engine, it's game over. Now, a few things before we start. We have put a gazebo because, yes, I have to work on the car and it is raining badly outside. So I have to work in some sort of like a clean area. No rain, no dust, as I will be opening the engine, by the way. So I prepared the area. It's not going to be a one-day job for me because I don't know, it could take a 2-day. I don't know the part yet, so I need to disassemble it, find the part, and assemble the engine back. And I'm not working in a garage or anything like this. I am literally working on my driveway. Yeah, it's definitely a stressful situation, but hey ho, here I am. And without further ado, let's get started. Let's do it. Disconnect the battery. Now we're gonna have to keep the car unlocked for all this time, for all the days that we're gonna be working on the driveway.
Yeah.
So once we disconnect, that's it. We'll take the black cable out and put it on a side so it does not make contact with anything. After disconnecting the battery, we need to obviously see the full engine and we need to access more the engine. We need to remove this part of the car.
The cabin filter.
The cabin filter, exactly.
And if you want to know more about the cabin filter and how we replaced it, we have a special video only for that.
There's another one here. This rubber needs removing.
Yeah.
Let's leave it till the end.
Well, actually, maybe better if it comes out now.
All you have to do is pull this in the front. So you need to be careful. Okay.
The wind is picking up outside, outside this gazebo.
Okay.
Yes.
That's it.
Wow.
So you see, the engine goes all the way to there.
Yes. Then you have some space in the back.
Yeah. So after we disconnect the battery and we remove the pollen air filter out, the rubber, the seal, next we need to remove the AC bracket. Okay, next we need to get the gas pipes as well out of the way. We have one bolt here, there's a bracket and one bolt here.
Yeah.
You can hear the rain, yeah?
Yeah.
And there are two bolts here and a bracket. You see those two bolts?
Yes, I can.
And that one, the third one. Can you see the third one?
Yes.
That one
Yes.
needs removing. So let's start doing that. Can you hear the hail outside? It's hailing outside.
Yeah.
And two crazy people at night time. Two crazy people at night time with the lights on.
And the tea in the thermos.
Yeah, we're disassembling the engine.
That's how we have fun.
Oh my god. Now they come off. This is out of the way. Let's move on to the next step. All of the connectors here, anything that has a connector, we need to disconnect it, okay? And we need to remove all of these clips. So like, even including this one. Let's remove it. All of them must be removed. It's gonna take a long time. Let's pause the video, have a cup of tea, and we'll come back, take some more out.
Yeah.
So this metal cover,
Yeah.
I need to remove it. And can you see there's a one screw here, and there's a little plenty of screws
Yes. Yeah.
down there.
Yeah.
That needs removing. See the oil leak there? That's the problem.
Okay.
That's the problem here. If you have seen my previous video, I'm very proud that we bought this tools. Honestly, I'm so happy we did. Because now we can, next we need to take this metal cover out. And to do it, look how easy this is. Look,
Yeah.
look how easy it makes it look like. This tool is making the job look so easy. Out.
Into this magnetic tray.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it here.
It's very helpful.
Yeah, it's super magnetic. Like,
Yes.
look,
Yeah.
super magnetic.
Amazing.
Put it here and go into. Let's see how many bolts.
Quite a few, I can see.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Let's see. But for example, this pipeline is in my way, but no problem. Perfect.
Got it?
I got it.
Yes.
Wow. I was worried that I'm gonna lose it, but then eventually I didn't. So that's great.
Fantastic.
That's great.
Great news.
3 more nuts at the bottom. One here, one there, and one over there. Nice.
Yeah, it's working. I can see it very clearly.
So now we're working on this shield here, a cover, shield, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So there was 3 nuts on the top and 4 on the bottom, okay? 4 greasy nuts on the bottom because of the leak of the oil. So let's take it out. It's very tight.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is teamwork.
Yeah.
Makes the dream work. Slowly, slowly, it is getting there.
So this cable is actually in the way of removing this. So I can remove the cable. Yeah. So this one goes really high. So I release this one all the way on top.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, only then, that comes off. And this needs to be really dry because this is the computer.
Yes.
Will it come out?
Yes. Another win.
Wow.
Yeah.
Came out. So that's the cover. Can you see the leak?
Of the oil, yeah?
Yeah. Right, we removed the other plate like we saw previously. I cannot see where the leak exactly is coming from, so what we're gonna do is gonna try to open this plate over here and see where we can see the leak from, because it's leaking from here on the other side.
So both sides.
Yeah. So over here I can already see there are 2 screws on the top. Let's take them off.
Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same.
Here we go, we have removed the plate. It was slightly difficult, it's not as difficult as that one, but it just turns that way and then take it out. But now it's to diagnose and to see where the leak is. Can you see how wet it is there and shiny? It shouldn't be wet like that, it should be dry like this. So can you see how this is dry?
Yeah.
Like here, see how this plastic is dry? That's how it should be. It shouldn't be wet like that there. It shouldn't be wet like that.
Yeah.
Okay? So, that's the problem. This is the manifold inlet, so we may have to buy a new one. We have to think about it and see what we're gonna do. But for now, this is the update. Let's think about it and we'll get back to you.